Chase, it is a beautiful Wednesday here in St. Louis. You are back at it after the tornadoes that came in and destroyed our podcast.
It was just a little wind. It's fine. No
That's
big
what you
deal.
say after a good meal here in the Midwest, not after a tornado. We are happy you're back. We talked about it on Monday night with our stream of Monster Train 2. But you took a week off. You had a very close call with a very bad thing that hurt a lot of people in the area. Your house was impacted, but you were working through it.
Yeah, and not as bad as a lot of other people. So I got relatively lucky. As you can see, this office pretty clear. So
They know what's special. The tornado's
yeah. Yes, thank God the tornado didn't ruin any of the gunpla. That would have been the worst.
How dare they? Well, I'm glad you're back. I'm a little upset that we did not get to have this conversation sooner because you left me on a cliffhanger. We talked about our top 25 Xbox 360 games last week because everybody else was, and we had to 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But the definitive voice on Xbox 360 games had not yet been entered into the ring, and here we are now.
Exactly.
We got 25 to what, 11 last week or 2 weeks ago?
We're doing top 10s now.
Why don't we do it? Because I think we have some folks tuning in that probably have not heard that episode. Do you want to do a quick rundown of where we left it last week?
Sure.
And also kind of talk about your math on what you're doing here?
Yeah, so we're using the same kind of math that we do. We're not making a definitive casual hour list of the best Xbox 360 games, but we are, because we can, and it's kind of fun, we are keeping score.
Yes,
of
always
doing our combined. We're doing like the weighted. So your 25th game gets 1 point. Your first game gets 25 points.
Big time.
We'll just see what happens. And I don't know if we have a clear winner. Great. If we don't, who cares?
I think we'll have a very close top 5.
I bet so. I bet there will be some stuff in here. But yeah, so I kept track from everything we did a couple weeks ago. So I have what currently is in the lead, which obviously none of these will be our winners because we get 25 more points, and the highest thing here has 23 points. And I think we both picked it. So it's not going to get any more points than that. But yeah, I can run down our shared thing, and we could also run down our personal 25 to 11s if you want to do that.
Sounds great.
Okay. Let's start with the personals first. I'll just run through mine real quick. My 25 was Splosion Man, 24 Skate 2, 23 Skyrim, 22 Red Faction Guerrilla, 21 Splinter Cell Conviction, 20 Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, 19 Gears of War 2, 18 Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, 17 NBA Street Home Court, 16 Lost Planet Extreme Condition, 15 Far Cry 3, 14 Borderlands, 13 Crackdown, 12 Halo 3, and 11 was Assassin's Creed. Bobby, how about you?
My 25 was Lost Planet. My 24 was Star Wars The Force Unleashed. 23 was Sleepy Dogs. 22 was Skate 3. 21 Dead Rising. 20 Limbo. 19 Burnout Paradise. 18 Rock Band 2. 17 Borderlands. 16 Dragon Age Origins. 15 Dishonored. 14 Far Cry 3. 13 Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. 12 was Guitar Hero, but I was corrected. It's Guitar Hero 2. And then 11 was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yeah. So if we break that down, I'm not going to go through our full list because you kind of just heard the games there. But in terms of like our, let's say, top 5
top 5
from 2 weeks ago, Far Cry 3 would be leading with 23 points, Borderlands with 21 points, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare with 20 points, Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood both have 15 each, and that would round out our top 5. Now, again, some of those games the other person hasn't said, so maybe you have Assassin's Creed really high in your top 10, and so Assassin's Creed is going to jump up, or maybe I have Assassin's Creed Brotherhood in my top 10, and it would jump up.
It could jump up.
There might be some movement here for some of these. Like I had Skyrim pretty low on my list. If Bobby has it on his list, obviously it'll get some points. But we've got 10 games each to run down, and kind of like before, I think we'll probably, because we have fewer games to talk about tonight, we might talk a little bit more about these games. And also they're our top 10, so they're a little bit more special to us. So
definitely.
Do you want to just jump in and go back and forth like we did before?
I can't remember. Did you go first last time?
Maybe. Why don't you go first this time?
I can do that. Number 10, maybe you've heard of it, Halo 3.
Halo 3, very good video game.
It is a very good video game. This one was college, so I had already had a lot of time with the Halo franchise. I went back and forth on what I would pick here for this one with the Halo games that came out on the 360, but I had a lot of great memories with Halo 3, and I loved the campaign. That was a very epic send off at the end of that one. And really, man, this is probably like my last favorite Halo game. I just kind of lost momentum whenever I was going down into the other games. Like I was starting work and all that other shit.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to balance a lot. Halo 3 was up there for me.
I still liked a lot of ODST, and I really liked Reach because of the story implications that went into that. And like I said on the couple episodes ago, um, like that was I was reading the Halo books at the time. I was a real
Sure.
nerdy for that shit. So the Fall of Reach was an interesting story to me, and kind of seeing it play out in a video game was cool. But yeah, I was with you. My highest Halo game of the 360 era was definitely Halo 3. That's the one that felt really big and impactful. And
Yeah,
while I like the other ones, Halo 3 was the one. So Halo
absolutely.
3 actually bumps that gets another 16 points. So that is now currently the Casual Hours top
What was it
Xbox
for you?
360 game. It was 12.
Okay.
So it's got a total of 30 points right now. So suck on that, Far Cry 3. There's a new there's a new best game in town. We'll see if Halo 3 stands up to it. My number 10 is Spelunky.
I forgot that was a 360 game.
Yeah, yeah. Spelunky. So I've probably played a lot more Spelunky, and I think this ranking is a lot more geared towards Spelunky as a PlayStation Vita game because I
It's
played the
yeah,
shit
I mean
out of it on
that's
Vita.
where I think about this one.
Yeah, that's the one where I was doing daily challenges and things like that. But Spelunky or Spelunky HD, I guess is technically what it is. Was an XBLA game. That's where I first played it. I don't think I really truly appreciated it until I played it more
Sure.
later. But because that was a Spelunky time, or that was my first steps into Spelunky. I
Yeah,
had a lot
man.
of really good times playing that, and then obviously had even more great times on the Vita. So it kind of retroactively made this one a little bit better. I think if I was ranking PlayStation Vita games, Spelunky would be even higher. But
Oh,
because I didn't have quite that love on the 360, I think it kind of artificially got bumped down. But Spelunky, hell of a game,
that should
like
be
a perfect video game.
we
Honestly,
should dust off some more Vita stuff in the future for like another list.
I'm always down to talk about the Vita. You know that.
Spelunky, very cool thing, man. Number 9, Chase. Fable 2. I
Nice. I like that.
loved Fable and Fable 2.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of Fable happened after those two. But uh um
Yeah, it's weird. They just stopped at it too. Why
they
would
just
they?
stopped at it too. I don't know.
It's weird. They never made
It
a
felt like they
third.
could have done a third one, maybe even more. I don't know. Fable and Fable 2 are way up there for me. And Fable is one of those games that from that time period, I think about going back to that game more than most others. And I am very optimistic for where Fable goes on the 2026 version that's coming out. But Fable 2 was a fantastic iteration on a really good formula with Fable. And it gave me a lot of hope and then a lot of despair when we got Fable 3, because I thought Fable 2 was moving all the right needles into the right place and building off of what I thought was a pretty magnificent video game, which was Fable. But Fable 2, number 9.
Yeah, I had a bit of a Guitar Hero brain fart where I was like, oh yeah, Fable. That's like really high on
Yeah.
my list. And then I remembered, oh you idiot, Fable was an Xbox game. Fable 2 is the Xbox
Well, they
360
did
game.
I mean, technically, they made an anniversary edition for the
Yeah, you're right,
360.
but I didn't play that. I
Yeah.
played original as Fable. I love original as Fable way more than I probably should. That I was lost in the sauce for Peter Molyneux on that
Mm,
one. It's like I believed everything he said. I read like the Game Informer issue that
yeah,
had Fable
dude.
on the cover, and I read that front to back multiple times. I was so excited for Fable, and then the game came out, and obviously it was not what he promised because that's what happens with Peter Molyneux. but I still love that game so incredibly much. And when Fable 2 came out, I love Fable 2 as well. It
Yeah,
actually didn't make my top 25. So I'll give you a hint on that one. But I love
criminal.
Fable 2, but Fable 1 is still my favorite
I,
of
I've
that series.
I've even thought about doing a Casual Fridays like replay of Fable,
Sure. Sure.
like going back to that. But I don't know, man. Maybe I do that next year, kind of leading up to Fable 2026 and see what that's all about. But
Yeah.
Fable 2 was really cool. I still
Fable's
think
got a little industrial for my liking. Like, yeah, that's where you had guns, and
yes.
it's like I wanted to go back. I liked the bows, and I
Oh, I
liked
mean, I
the
still think
more
Fable's
sword stuff.
superior to Fable 2, but
Okay, cool.
I
A lot
just
of people would disagree. A lot of people think Fable 2 is like the high watermark, and I understand why.
I don't know, man. Like I
The
think I played a lot
breadcrumb
more
trail, the
Fable.
dog, like there's
Yeah.
all sorts of reasons why Fable 2 is fantastic. But man,
Well, maybe I play that one instead because I have less playthroughs on 2 than I do of the original.
We got Baggy in the chat also saying
Yeah.
Fable over Fable 2.
I mean, I
All
think
right,
Fable is better.
I stand corrected. The people are right on this one.
Yeah,
I thought everyone
Fable's
was wrong
better,
for liking Fable 2 over
but
over
on the
Fable, but no.
360, Fable 2 was one of my favorite games. So it's actually my ninth favorite.
Yes,
if we're being
absolutely, yeah.
being
Definitely
accurate.
not saying Fable 2 is a bad game.
Yeah.
Fable 3 though,
not a great game. Very big letdown.
not a great game. Yeah,
very big letdown.
All right, that leads me to my number 9, which is
9.
Marvel versus Capcom 3.
That tracks. It's so funny to hear you talk about fighting games because I just don't think I since I've known you, I don't think I've ever heard you play a fighting game.
Dragon Ball Fighters. That was when we were doing the show.
Okay, yeah, that was like early on the show too, wasn't it?
2018, but yeah, that was a big one for me. Yeah. But this was probably the time I played the most fighting games. I guess I could probably say Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because it added a couple more characters, and but MVC 3 is where I got deep into it. I was, I had another podcast at the time. This is when I was in college, and I would go over to my friend's house to record that podcast, and we would play some Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and or Street Fighter 4, and then go record, and then they'd want to do a marijuana break, and I didn't really care about that, but then it was like, well, we can fit in a couple more matches and then go record more of the podcast. And then after the podcast, I was like, you just want to stick around and play more Marvel vs. Capcom 3? And like, you're goddamn right I do.
There you go.
That's probably the best I've ever been at a fighting game, is playing that game.
Sure.
And I still wasn't very good, but I had reads and I knew counters, and I was playing that game well, and I knew how to do all the moves. And God, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, so good. I still like watching that one being played at Evo when they dust it off and try that one again, because even though there's a lot of crazy shit happening on the screen, it's one that I understand from playing it enough where I'm like, I can see what they're doing, and I get why they're doing the things that they're doing. I see the strategy going on in here.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're gonna do Akuma's super. I see it. I get it. Yeah. Oh, we're going X Factor now. Of course they're doing X Factor. And man, what a great game. So cool.
They just added Street Fighter skins to some of the handlers in Monster Hunter Wilds.
Sure.
So you can have Cammy take you out now if you want. And
I would love to be taken out by Cammy.
Who wouldn't? All right. Number 8, Batman Arkham City. Such a fantastic build. I mean, Arkham Asylum's fantastic as well.
Yeah.
But the city, Gotham, felt so realized. It looked, I still think this game looks way too good for the time it came out. Like, this game looked exceptional. It played exceptional. I really appreciated the playground that you got. Like, you felt more like a threat, I think, in the asylum. Like, you felt scary in there.
Yeah.
The city just feels more like the gritty piece of Batman that I would expect. You got fantastic performances from Conroy. You've got an incredible continuation of Hamill's Joker, and just being able to like fly with the rain on your cape and seeing all that shit, the rooftop, the pods coming down with your suits, all the equipment, talking to Alfred, all the Riddler challenges, like all that shit. I had a really kick-ass, I remember this one very distinctively. I went to the GameStop when I was working at Apple, and I got the collector's edition, and it came with a really rad statue of Batman. and it was a very big, like they used to be back then, the actual collector's editions of it when they didn't cost $250. But it was a cool statue that came with it, and I love the game. I still stand by it. I think this is better than Asylum. And it's such a cool game. Like I love Batman Arkham City.
I've never played City. I've only played Asylum.
Man. That could be a Chasey K place too. That'd be a fun place.
It could be. Like it's much more of like a big open world, right?
I mean, it's an open world for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's what kind of drove me away from it. I really liked Asylum in that it was this smaller place and it felt a little bit more. I don't really like Metroid games all that much, but it did feel a little bit like more clockwork in the world of.
You have a little bit of that in this one too.
That opens this thing, and it just felt a little more straightforward. Whereas, I was getting that fatigue already for big open worlds, and especially seeing something like the Riddler challenges. Like I don't want to do this. I've collected enough Assassin's Creed feathers in my day. I'm okay.
Yeah,
but I do hear a lot of people say that City is great.
I think City's the best out of all those.
Yeah. Did you play the? So there was one more Rocksteady one, and then there was like another one.
There was one that was right? There was a prequel that you could.
That was Origins,
and that one was very busted.
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight was cool. There was a lot there that I liked. I know people kind of shit on how much of the Batmobile is required, but the Batmobile was really fucking cool. It's one of my favorite like end game machines, and there's this ability to like launch out of the Batmobile and then start gliding, which is really fucking cool. There's some stuff with the Red Hood in there that's great, but my fan thing here, like give me absolute Batman in this style. That would be really cool. So yeah, man, Batman Arkham City.
That was your number 8, correct?
Number 8, yeah.
All right, my number 8 is Mass Effect 1.
Okay.
The first one.
Yeah,
that's important. I love Mass Effect 1. I love the other 2 games as well. But 1 is where I really fell in love. That is the BioWare I know and love. Where it still felt a little bit more like Knights of the Old Republic. I liked messing with my armor and my guns and switching mods out and things like that. And I think when you get into 2, it's a little too streamlined. It's very
a little better.
It's super slick, obviously, but it's like a little too streamlined for me. And I just liked swapping armor. I liked the camouflage armor that you could get and like the different patterns and putting Rex and like
they had different armors in 2.
They do, but it's more it's more like here are the skins we have, and less like here's a bunch of patterns for different armors that you get. I just really like Mass Effect 1. I like a lot of the characters from Mass Effect 1. That's where I fell in love. And while I do love 2 quite a bit, and I know, again, that's the high watermark of the series, and I like 3 mostly because of the multiplayer stuff, the horde mode stuff that they added in. I thought that was really rad, and I wish more people had played it. 1 is always going to be the one that is strongest in my mind. And I like the Mako. God damn it. I had a lot of fun driving around those planets.
I will tell you, man, I remember getting that game for Christmas the year it came out. And that was like such a transformative experience for me, playing something like that. Like I had played KOTOR and love it, but Mass Effect really just like that rewired my brain a little bit, I think, on like what I wanted from games. And I think we'll talk more about entries in that series here soon.
Oh, I imagine we will.
Yeah.
The very funny thing to me.
I don't know why anybody here would be.
No, yeah, it's such a weird thing. You're not a big fan.
Yeah.
I've heard.
I mean, I don't know if you can see it. I should just go maybe I'll do that for my segment.
Yeah. Okay, I was like, does that actually play on camera? I don't know if your thumb's off screen at this point.
Oh no, it's there. Yeah.
The funny thing for me is that I had to do this through all 3 Mass Effect games. But when I made my Mass Effect 1 character, my own Shepard, he had short blonde hair, he had a goatee, and he looked exactly like Conrad. So when Conrad comes up and he's like, I'm the fanboy, and like at one point he even like tries to be Shepard himself. I'm like, I accidentally made a guy. I thought the game was fucking with me. It was like we made like a generic character who kind of looks like the one that you made. and I thought that was just what they did for everybody. And then I realized, oh no, I just made a shepherd who very much looks like their generic loser character who shows up across the series. And I went, I'm just kind of playing Conrad this entire
Oh
time.
God.
That was very funny when I realized that.
Holy shit. So Mass Effect was your number 8.
That's my number 8. We're on to your number 7.
All right. We talked about this 2 weeks ago, but the Elder Scrolls Skyrim is my number 7.
Skyrim. Okay.
This was like my first Bethesda game. Like I'd played the other, like I had dabbled, I'd watched people. But this was the first one that like got its hooks in me, and I played a lot of it. And it's weird to talk about a game that like I'm just like very disenchanted with today, like with Reverence. We talked a little bit about that too. Like I'm over that, and like we're not talking about new shit, but there's an indie game that came out that's kind of taking the world by storm called Tainted Grail, and I've been checking that one out. And it's just that formula, and man, I just don't know if I want a little bit more from that formula these days. But back then in 2012, 2011, whenever it was, I think it was 2012, Skyrim was a really special piece of magic that I got to go through and play, and I really enjoyed being in that world. I thought the soundtrack was fantastic. I really appreciated just like getting lost and running into weird shit. The dungeon designs was cool. I did all the DLC. Like, I think you said this, I became a werewolf, then a vampire, and then stole a bunch of shit, murdered a bunch of people. It was cool. Like, it just feels weird. And also like a lot of these other games I know probably age like milk as well. But at the same time, I just, it's something about this game and just Bethesda has like really clouded the way I look back on what for a long period was like a very fond memory. And I think, I mean, ultimately still is. Like, I don't want to diminish the experience I had with it. It's just weird because like, I just don't care about that genre of our open world RPG anymore. And like, I would go back to play Mass Effect over this any day of the week.
Yep. Same here.
So,
I mean, you know, I've obviously soured much more on Bethesda.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But I still can't deny I put many hundreds of hours into Skyrim and played all that stuff and had a great time at the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's only when I look back on it, I was like, damn, I spent way too much time playing that game that wasn't actually all that good. But I mean, even so, it still ended up as my 23.
It's weird to think about a period where like
or 7. So
that was the only thing that I would be playing, like for like a long period of time. It's weird to think about that.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of another game that I played for a very long time, my number 7 is Burnout Paradise.
Hey, I like that game a whole lot.
It's so fucking good.
It's so fucking good.
I mean, that's the reason my Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is down so far, is because while I love Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, Burnout Paradise is just better. The game's just better. If you're gonna do a racing game, that's the better one.
Isn't it weird that after they remade it or remastered it, I can't remember which one it was, I thought for sure, given like the reception of that, we would have gotten another entry. It's weird we don't have, especially with like
EA is weird, man. they
are weird.
Criterion team, like they got put on Need for Speed because you know having the actual car model.
I'll do it for him. I'll do it right here. Hey, EA, make a Burnout Paradise Battle Royale game. You're welcome. Like, that's all you have to fucking do.
They kind of did. There was like a mode that had
not
that.
Like in the modern 10s, like 2010s and beyond, 2020s.
Yeah, I'm sure. And they've put kind of modes like that into something like Forza Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Even Mario Kart is going to have that kind of knockout game. For the newest one. But yeah, like Burnout Paradise, it's so good. Like having the cars that were like made for speed or made for tricking. I'm
gonna check it out really quick. I think the closest I've gotten to that high on a modern game is probably Wreckfest, and I'm pretty sure Wreckfest 2 came out in early access. It did. It's out in early access right now. Okay.
And Wreckfest, Wreckfest, hell of a game too. We played a lot of that.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
We have got some really great clips from from old Casual Hour era that are quite
Not
good.
to not get off top. You know that became a mobile game, by the way.
I think I did hear that it came to mobile,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
which seems wild.
It does.
But yeah, Burnout Paradise, Take Me Down to
Fucking
the
great.
Paradise City. It's so
It's
so
so
good.
good.
They added in. That's a game that had a bunch of DLC packages too,
Hmm.
where you got your Ecto One got thrown in there, the bikes DLC, the mini cars, um, the whole new island for that. It's
It's
just
great.
like jumping through billboards, smashing into places like that. Just you didn't get that from
No.
Need for Speed. Like even when Need for Speed tried to bring in the takedown stuff, because
Hmm.
Criterion immediately went to make this game afterward, um, or make Need for Speed after Burnout Paradise. It just wasn't quite the same as look at this level of destruction on these fake ass car models instead of here are the real car models that you can't. I mean, you can crash them, but you can't
Yeah.
like show as much damage on them, and
Yeah.
just wasn't the same. Wasn't the
Wasn't the same.
same. Burnout Paradise. What a game.
Number 7, Burnout Paradise, right?
Yep.
All right, man. Hey, my number 6, Gears of War 2.
Ooh. Okay.
I played so much Gears of War, man. I was a broke ass college kid, and my professor was cool enough to let me hook up into like the big studio to present on the projector. And I remember I went to trade a bunch of stuff into GameStop, and they had a like this. It looked kind of like what you would carry like musical equipment in from like a roadie. Like it was this really
Okay.
rugged,
Yeah.
like clasp, like Xbox 360 carrier.
Stage cases. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a stage case, but it was black with like blood splatters on it. It had the Gears logo on it. It looked
Yeah.
really fucking awesome. And you could put the 360 in it perfect. You could put your hard drive in there, extra controllers. And I was very nomadic at that point in my life, going home, hanging out with friends. And I would always carry that around and just play a shit ton of Gears of War. I talk a lot about the garage from this time period that I would go and play games in. One of the guys there was like actually competitive with Gears of War. He was going up to Chicago and playing like Gears of War competitively. And so we were very coordinated as a group. Like we played every weekend on Xbox Live, basically all night in the same room. I I had such good memories of Gears of War, and Gears of War 2 was like even better for me, like less horror based in my opinion. I think it expanded on some of the capabilities, the weapons, like it just felt chunky in the best way. I really liked the escalation of the story where it was going. Gears was great. Like I think I had a pretty big turn, like where I started to think like I'd rather play Gears over like Call of Duty over Halo even. Like I got into Gears of War quite a bit.
I was never a multiplayer fan of Gears outside of the Horde mode, which was
Sure.
introduced into,
Yeah.
and I played a lot of Horde mode, and we talked about that on the last episode. Um, but yeah, I agree. I think the Gears 2 story is solid. I mean, one is fine, but it has that really bad boss fight at the end that
Yeah.
kind of soured it a little bit on me. And three's
It's
okay.
okay. Two was
Yeah.
the high water mark for me, for sure.
I agree. I agree. I think that's where they really nailed it from a mechanics perspective, from a story perspective. It's
Yeah.
Gears 2 is the best one for sure.
Number
Better than Judgment.
6, better than Judgment.
Yeah, that was your number 6. My number 6 is Portal 2.
Huh,
Portal
I
2,
thought that
great game.
it would have been higher. Portal 2 is great.
It was almost higher, but there's some other really good games on the Xbox 360.
This is a shameless plug for us, but you can watch us play Portal 2 if you're interested. Best buddies.
Half of it, yeah. We played through the co-op campaign, which is like a completely separate campaign that is really fun and cool.
There's a
And I've got some great memories both from playing it with you and also from the first time I played it. But the story of Portal 2, the solo story of Portal 2 is so good.
Yep.
It's got my boy J.K. Simmons in it. I like a lot of the stuff you're doing. I like a lot of the new mechanics, the goo that makes you fast, the goo that makes you bounce. I think they do a lot of really cool things in Portal 2. But it's not my favorite Portal game. We
That's
might
fair.
talk about that one a little bit later. But yeah, Portal 2 is still just a fucking fantastic
Do you
video.
remember how difficult it was to figure out how to play that game? And then like when we like right when we wrapped up playing that game together,
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, here it is on the Nintendo Switch, and by the way, you can like do all the like, fuck." Because there's a whole other story that we can get into sometime. But
It would have been so easy if we had just put it off a couple months. But
I know,
yeah,
man.
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? All right. My number 5, Chase.
Yep.
Red Dead Redemption.
Sure.
That game completely knocked my socks off. I wanted to do everything that game would let me do. I felt for the first time like I get the Rocksteady stuff. Like I enjoyed Grand Theft Autos, especially Vice City,
Rockstar
but there
stuff.
Sorry, yes, Rockstar. I always appreciated like Grand Theft Auto, but I never felt compelled to like go through their story and see what it was. It was always about like an edgy thing to do in the game. Like, look at this, I just punched a hooker, bye, I'm taking her car now, like all that stupid shit. But Red Dead Redemption, I love the story in it. I thought it was such a fucking move at the end when John dies for you to come and play as his son. Like that was a crazy thing to see done. And the world was just so fucking crazy to be in. And this is like why it's so hard for me to like look back on Red Dead Redemption 2 and appreciate like how great Arthur Morgan was and be so frustrated with how bad that game felt to play with such high memories of what Red Dead Redemption was. But
there's just so much in Red Dead Redemption 2 that it was overwhelming to the point of like this is so meticulously made, and I appreciate it on like I respect it, but I don't like it. And I think Red Dead Redemption for me is where mechanically that style of Rockstar game peaked. Where it just felt good to play. I knew what I was doing. I felt like I had good control over my character. And so when I failed missions for some reason or another, I felt like it was more on me and less that I didn't know what the fuck was going on in like that would happen constantly in Red Dead Redemption 2 or in earlier GTAs where I felt like, oh, like the game just kind of fucked up at some point because they were pretty janky. So obviously, whatever that happened, right? This feels old and shitty when you're playing it. Like I remember in GTA Vice City, yeah, it would have been Vice City, where you have to like use the remote controlled helicopter to drop dynamite stuff, and I was like, this feels like shit.
Yeah,
I
not
hate
great.
This.
Not great.
And Red Dead Redemption, I don't feel like I had those moments, and I feel like I had a lot of really good.
I didn't really punch my horse in Red Dead Redemption like I did in Red Dead Redemption 2.
That's true. I did have. It was one of. I think it actually might be like my most read story from my Bitmob days, but I had like a journal from playing Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, cool!
And it was. I remember it being a lot of fun talking about, skinning this animal while a bear crept up on me and you couldn't get out of the animation, so I'm just watching this bear and I'm like, my character is so fucked. And then I would finish skinning the animal and the bear immediately killed me afterward, and I was like, this, you know what, that's great. I kind of love that.
I still have them. I got when the game came out at the Rockstar online store, they were selling the playing cards that you use in the poker games.
Sure. Yeah.
And I collect playing cards, and I was able to get those, and I still have them. Those cards feel great. They feel very good. They have a great weight and a great feel to them.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Undead Nightmare?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was a really solid DLC.
Yeah, it was great.
Came out far enough after the game where it was nice to go back and revisit. But unlike a lot of DLCs where you kind of have to pick up where you left off and you feel, it's like, oh, I'm back, but I have no idea what I'm doing. I think they put you in like it's still the same area, but they put you in new situations, and it felt separate from the game where it was kind of nice. But then you could still bring those bonuses back and be riding on like the 4 horses of the apocalypse that you can collect. Really good stuff.
Was that 2018 or 2017?
That I have no idea.
Because if I was going to tell everybody watching, if you are curious to know how I truly feel about it, it was 2018. Go back and find our 2018 Game of the Year discussion, and you will hear a very frustrated and passion-filled argument about why that game deserved no flowers.
Yeah.
But I think I've gone back to it, and I've lightened my hate a little bit, but it's still frustrating to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of moments that I'll remember about Red Dead Redemption 2, but
Yeah.
it frustrated me enough that I did not want to play much more much more after what I did.
Yep, I'm with
which
you there.
honestly was not all that far in the game.
Yeah, totally.
So that was your number 5.
That was
correct?
we're in the top 5 now.
Top 5s. Well, my number 5 is a game that Bobby knows quite well. It's XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Hell yeah. I had a great time playing this with you, and had I played it when it was out, I would have probably had it on this list, but I played that game with you for the first time, and I know that I missed a great opportunity because that game is fantastic.
It really is cool. I had never played an XCOM game before. I didn't really even know anything about XCOM before this game came out, but I do like turn-based strategy games quite a bit. I liked the customization of being able to name your soldiers and the permadeath stuff that was in there. I still don't like base building. I don't like
the base building's whatever.
I remember when I played through that game, I neglected the base building so much and was just doing things to make my squad great. And so anytime there would be an attack on on like a city, I didn't have a good response to it because I could not scramble the fighter jets because I didn't have any fighter jets. But goddamn, when my team got sent on a mission, we got it the fuck done. Man,
that clip,
it was so cool.
When the guy was frenzied, that we have, it's one of, I think, probably our most watched clips, but that was a fun playthrough. That XCOM was great. Do you want another XCOM, or do you feel like there's been enough XCOM likes out there that
I don't need another XCOM because I haven't played a heck of a lot of the XCOMs they made afterward.
Okay.
I didn't even play much of the Enemy Within DLC for the first game. So that's why I have Unknown on my list instead of Within. I tried XCOM 2, and I honestly didn't like it as nearly as much. I think some of the changes they made to Overwatch and some of the changes they made where it was like there was a character that used swords that I just didn't end up liking the melee combat at all. It didn't click with me as much. And then I know you played, what was it, Chimera Squad?
Yeah, Chimera Squad was cool. I was just checking, actually. I was like, maybe we should do another one of these on a Monday night, but I've got Enemy Unknown, I've got Chimera, I've got 2, I've got War of the Chosen. Like, I've got all the stuff. So I have all of them if we ever wanted to check them out.
But I just ended up, anytime I get the urge to play XCOM, I always go back to the first one. Or not the first one, but Enemy Unknown. And that's my XCOM, and that's the one I really liked. I love a lot of the mechanic stuff that's in there. And it just led to some of those great moments of, those frustrating moments where you get the XCOM, I've got 95%, and then you miss.
God.
Like, I'm point blank with this shotgun, and it just misses. You go, how could it possibly miss? And then just those other moments of triumph where you're like, it's like a 25% chance to hit. There's no way my sniper's going to make this shot. In fact, it was the very end of the game for me, where you get like an enemy that splits into a bunch of clones or hologram versions, and I think my team was pretty far down to like its only last couple people. I had like one like shotgunny soldier guy in the front who was mind controlled, and then in the back I had my one sniper, and I'm like, the sniper needs to hit this shot one, and it needs to be not a shadow clone. It needs to not be a hologram. And I took the shot, and it fucking nailed it. It critted, it killed, and I just threw up my hands in victory, and I felt so great. That game fucking rules.
That's awesome.
I had such a great time with Enemy Unknown.
Well, what I will tell you is, we've talked a lot about my number 4, so I'm just going to say it, and we're going to move on to your number 4 in the spirit of saving some time here. Okay. My number 4 is Portal 2.
Portal 2. All right. Portal 2 gets a lot of points for that.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, let me update the thing real quick. And we can move on to my number 4, which is Mark of the Ninja.
It's a great game. I did not
This,
play it on the 360 though. I played it on the
yeah.
Switch.
Well, the Switch is a great place for it. I
Yeah.
replayed it on the Switch and also had a really good time with it. But that is the game that I think cemented Xbox Live Arcade as something that, for me, was here to stay. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I like a lot of these cool indie games, but wasn't until Mark of the Ninja came where I was like, oh, these can be like my favorite game that came out this year, not just like a fun trifle thing that I played and then went back to the quote unquote real games. Like this is a real fucking video game over here. The stealth stuff is the way that the stealth information is portrayed to the player is so well done, where you can see these like rings of sound, so you know this bottle that gets smashed over here, you know exactly who it's going to trigger. You can use light in ways, and the ways that your character is shadowed, to know exactly whether you're in stealth or out of stealth. The
It's
mechanics they use
beautiful
to
too.
sneak around, it's got this gorgeous like Samurai Jack
Yeah.
style
Big
art
time.
to it. I liked collecting the different ninja outfits that would each have different bonuses and sometimes drawbacks. I think that game
It's
is
it's really cool.
incredible, and I'm so sad there was never a Mark of the Ninja 2. That Team Clay has gone on to make lots of other really cool games as
Do
well.
they
But
have anything in the hopper?
that's a great question. I think they're probably still just getting that Don't Starve money, right?
I mean, is
Because
that still
that
that's
was the
still very
thing that.
popular, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
and they keep adding stuff to it too.
well, they've been publishing a lot. They published Beastie Ball, which you should check that out, by the
Oh
way.
sure, yeah. I remember being interested in what Beastie Ball was going to be.
I think the last game you and I played of theirs, I'm trying to remember the name of it really quick.
Oh, they published Rift of the Necrodancer.
Oh, cool. Griftlands. That was the last game I think that they put out. Oh no,
Yeah,
Dead
yeah.
Pilts, Rotwood, Oxygen. Not these are older ones. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, Invisible Ink was a cool one for me. Griftlands is sad because it came out around the same time as some other uh, like roguelike deck builder kind of games. And I remember us talking about it, and we played it on a casual Mondays, and was cool. And then when its Switch version came out, it just didn't have the good tooltips when you're playing it on a Switch that you really need when you're cursoring over stuff, and it just wasn't as playable as a Switch version. But I think it's actually a really good PC game, and if I played more PC games, I probably would have liked
Yeah.
Griftlands a lot more. But yeah, Mark of the Ninja, my number 4 with a fucking bullet. That game, one of my favorites.
BioShock is my number 3.
Makes sense. I can
Yeah.
see that.
I get this game put me into a hyperfixation on Art Deco, and that really inspired a lot of the art I was making at the time. I loved just the fucking wild upgrades that you would do to your character and shooting bees at people. I thought the lore with the little sisters and the big daddies and just Rapture in itself was great. And then of course, just the acting performances and the twist that you get in there. That first, like, going into Rapture is one of the best video game moments, period. Like, I think that's such an iconic thing. I don't know, like, for me, I think they kind of went downhill from BioShock. I enjoyed 2, I enjoyed Infinite, but
Yeah, and two
nothing.
wasn't made by them, right?
No.
Like 2 was made by another company, and it had a really cool multiplayer to it.
Yeah.
Using plasmids in multiplayer was neat. The Big Sisters, I think, was an interesting concept. I forgot what the DLC was called, but the DLC for 2, I remember being a very Minerva's Den. That was what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Minerva's Den being I was thinking like Athena. It's like no, it's the Roman version of
Yeah.
Athena. Minerva's Den. That was a really good DLC that was talked up a lot. I actually borrowed friend of our show Pierce Corshane's copy of BioShock 2 to play through
awesome.
BioShock 2, to buy the DLC on my own and to play through Minerva's Den, just to hand Pierce's copy back to him and go, hey, okay, thanks. I don't need the game anymore. And he's like, well, you can't play the DLC with that. I was like, well, I've already finished the DLC. I'm never going to go back. But
Yeah.
it's like I owned this DLC for a game I didn't own
great.
just so I could play through that stuff. So I had a really great time with Bioshock 2. I agree. Bioshock 1's the better game, and Infinite's
it's fine.
I struggled with should I put Bioshock on this list, and I ended up not doing it. But I did really like Bioshock.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3 goes by 2 different names, and one is the name it started with, and one is the name that they had to change it to because some board game owned it. But for me, number 3 will always be Trenched, baby. I don't care. You can call it Iron Brigade if you have to, but that is Trenched to me. Trenched is so good.
Trenched? I don't think I've played Trenched.
Iron Brigade is what you'd find it as now. That's what it had to change to. This is a Double Fine game. It's an XBLA game that was spirited by Brad Muir, who now I think where does Brad Muir work now? I think it's Valve. I know he left.
I believe it is Valve.
Double Fine, go to Valve, but I don't know if he's still at Valve.
Trenched.
Iron Brigade is so smart and cool. Like the idea, the premise is, it's World War I, so they're in trenches. That's why it was called Trenched originally. But the trenches, this is like an alternate history World War I, where the trenches are actually mechs, and your trench has legs, and you move in your trench, and it's like a real-time strategy slash what's the genre where all the stuff comes at you? Tower defense. Yeah. So it's like a tower defense real-time strategy game, but you are in a unit and get to walk around the battlefield. And it had really great upgrades. It was a very silly game that you could unlock different salutes, and all the salutes were really stupid. And you could I think the salutes were on the trigger button, so you could half pull the trigger to halfway salute, and you could just keep half saluting, and it was so good. It was so stupid, but I had such a blast playing through. To me, which will always be Trenched, but is now Iron Brigade. It's honestly one of my favorite games of all time, and not nearly enough people played it like most Double Fine games. I don't. It certainly hasn't come to Switch, which
it's on Steam.
Yeah, it's on Steam. I could always play it there, but man, I need to reach out to Tim Schafer and just go put Trenched on Switch, and he'll go, you mean Iron Brigade? And sure, whatever, put it on Switch. And we're not doing that.
Nobody, should, though. Chase, nobody's putting shit on the Switch anymore, man.
Well, that's true. Also, they're part of Microsoft now, so it's, but they still put stuff on the Switch. Who knows? Iron Brigade. People should fucking play Iron Brigade.
All right.
It's so goddamn good. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Chase, my number 2 is also one of my favorite games of all time, Minecraft. Specifically, this is the Xbox 360 edition.
Sure.
This is not the best way to play this game, let's be clear. But for a lot of people, and I will say for a very specific generation of people, there's a lot of kids that this is how they played Minecraft. And for me as an adult at the time, Minecraft became just a fucking fever dream of a thing that I got to do. And I ended up going hog wild and played this on computers and Macs and all that shit. That's where I ended up playing most of it. But there was a very big part of me that played a lot of this on the Xbox. And I was very happy that there was this PC game that was taking the world by storm on my Xbox 360. I thought that was very cool, and they made it work. Obviously having a mouse and keyboard I think is far better. But that was such a cool thing. And look, think what you will about Minecraft in 2025, especially after Jack Black's take on it. But Minecraft is such I think it's the top selling video game of all time today. It's huge.
Something like that. Yeah, it's up there. I'm sure Fortnite has done something to it.
But I love Minecraft so much, and I'm happy I got a chance to play it on the Xbox.
I've still never played it, and I don't think I ever will. Just
Yeah,
because I know how much of a Lego kid I am,
yeah,
and how I would lose myself to Minecraft if I did play it. And
absolutely.
so I
I
just
mean,
I just had to like nip that in the bud. But I've respected Minecraft for a really long time. I think it's a wholly fascinating game, and unlike your Fortnites or your Roblox or things like that, I think it's actually done a lot for education for kids
yeah,
in the same way that Legos did.
yeah.
So I good
There's a
good on
reason why
Minecraft.
I like the type of games I like now, Chase. Like
Sure.
crafting and survival really comes from Minecraft for me.
And it feels a lot better to like Minecraft now that Notch is no longer part of it.
It's funny
I,
how one game that Microsoft acquired, I look back on, I'm happy that it's still going and doing well, and I can think about it. Another game that I've talked about that Microsoft acquired here, I do not look back on quite as fondly.
yeah, it's weird how sometimes people get like these weird technology guys that everyone loves get real rich and then become real weird and then
Yeah,
do some really bad shit, and then we have to put them to the side, or they become like pillars of the government and screw up even more things. It's weird how that
God,
happens sometimes.
it's very funny.
Anyway, all right, it's time for my number two, which is Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah,
We've talked about it a lot in the past, Bobby. That sometimes people make your game better than you do, and that's Obsidian right there.
Obsidian's been making better shit for Bethesda for a bit now, in my opinion.
And I think it's probably the chief reason that Skyrim is so low on my list
Yeah,
is that you play Fallout New Vegas and you go, well, this is just better. This is just way better. The story is more interesting. The decisions that you make are more interesting. The crafting of the weapons, the more hardcore style that you could go into like the full hardcore style where your bullets are money and things like that. But even just playing it normally, it's still really interesting. I just had so much fun with New Vegas in a way that I was kind of always hoping that I would get out of 3. And I like 3 was just a little too janky and a little too straightforward, and even though it's like this big open world, especially when you got into the National Mall, you had to go through subway systems and it actually felt really linear, and I felt like New Vegas really was that big open promise of the wasteland that I was looking for out of that game.
I think there's gonna be
And
a
while it is
remake.
also a buggy mess, like honestly even buggier than Fallout 3, which is
Yeah,
an impressive
saying
thing
something.
to say. Yeah, that is the game that I just stuck with a lot
Well,
and had my best times with.
you're gonna get Fallout Season 2, which will be absolutely heading to New Vegas. And I
That's
think,
true. That's
given
the
the
season.
success that we've seen with the Oblivion remaster, I think you're going to see that treatment, specifically knowing that they can coincide New Vegas with the TV
I
show.
wonder. I mean, that just does make sense.
Yeah.
And they certainly didn't take advantage of the TV show coming out as
No,
much.
they did. They just pushed 76. I don't think they expected the show to
Which
be as.
don't push
I know. They got
76.
better. Um,
Yeah.
well, Chase, what's my number one?
Well, you haven't said Mass Effect yet, so I assume it's a Mass Effect of some kind. Did you cheat and did you do all 3?
No. I
Okay.
was like, I could have, but
That's what IGN did.
yeah, IGN are cowards. I have Mass Effect 2 as my number one
That's fair.
game.
That's
Uh,
expected.
it is easily one of the best video games I've ever played, and I think it was such a fucking move, and it's a telling of the time for me that the internet did not have an opportunity to ruin this for me. Killing Shepard at the start of that game was fucking crazy, and watching that kind of come back together was
Sure.
that opening sequence was fucking bonkers. My jaw was on the floor when they did that. I'm like, there's no fucking way they're doing this, and they retconned it pretty quick, but still, the characters in that are just some of the best written characters I've ever had the pleasure of assembling into a team. I love the improvements on the combat, and I know they've gone back in the Legendary Edition and brought some of that to Mass Effect. But I
Martin
think,
Sheen's cool motherfucker, man.
God damn, the Elusive Man ruled. He was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love that game. I love that series. I have high hopes that we get a good one. I don't need it, but if they're going to put another one out, come hell or high water, it seems like I hope it's good, because that last Mass Effect really sucked.
BioWare, they're just in a real
BioWare
weird
and
tough
Bungie,
spot
man, it's
these
hard to
days.
watch. Hard to
Yeah,
watch.
these pillars of the industry have certainly fallen from their status at one point.
I mean, there's a lot that
Sometimes
we've
they can
talked about
still,
on
yeah,
this
like sometimes
list.
they can still put out something good, but
Yeah,
for the most part, it seems like. I mean, you liked Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
I did. I thought the combat was
I,
really good in that.
I still enjoy. Well, I haven't enjoyed for a while. I'm clean, but I enjoyed Destiny 2 much longer than a lot of people did. Um, they have the capacity to make good stuff, but we
Yeah,
just don't
we'll
see
see.
it nearly as much as when they couldn't possibly miss, which was only like a generation ago, which was kind
I
of
know.
wild.
Yeah, man, that's my list. Mass Effect 2,
Yeah.
number 1.
Well, Bobby, my number one potentially cheats. It doesn't have to cheat, but it could. My number one is the orange box, which I understand that's cheating. That is totally
It's
cheating. That is so many
cheating.
games. That is so many games in one thing. So if you put a gun to my head, you don't need the gun. It's Portal. Just Portal One.
But you
Portal
can't
1
buy
is
just Portal for the Xbox 360.
you can. Portal's still a live edition as a
Oh
was an
God.
XBLA version that you could put out. But I'm saying Portal 1 is my favorite game on the Xbox 360. And if you
You're
have to
not
buy
going to
the
do
orange box to
what
get it, that's
IGN
fine.
is and say all 3 of them are your favorite.
I'm not saying all 3. I'm saying Portal 1 is my game. But if you
Okay.
can only buy it through the
Okay.
orange box, then fine. I'll take the whole orange box. I think the
This is the
Half-Life.
most chase ass shit, but I'm here for it.
No, it's not. I am picking one game. One game is Portal 2. I understand
Okay.
that it comes in the orange box, and I also do like Half-Life 2 and the DLCs that come with it. I don't really care about Team Fortress 2 all that much. But Portal 1 is the game. That is the game
It's a
I have
very
so
good
much
game.
fun with. I like Portal 2. Obviously, I did. I tried to make my list not have any repeating franchises if I
Yeah.
could help it. But Portal 2 to me feels like a completely different game that I also love. But Portal 1 is like the one that I think of and played a lot. I remember playing that on my 360 in Illinois, at my
Sure.
grandmother's house, and my cousin was sitting right next to me, and we would just pass the controller back and forth whenever one of us got stuck, and then the other one would kind of be like backseat piloting. It's like, well, what if you tried that? What if you tried that? And I'm like, okay, all right, let me try that, and that works. And it was like, okay, no, I don't understand what you're saying. Here's the controller. You try it. And going back and forth playing that game, getting the reveal, like the cake is a lie moment was, I know that's become like a meme, but the moment of that and learning that you could get out of that situation was incredible to me. It is probably still like it competes with a couple of other games that also start with P, Psychonauts and Pokemon. Like any one of those on any given day is my favorite game of all time, but I think more often than not, Portal 1 takes that spot.
It's a magnificent video game.
A flawless video game.
It is. This was a really fun activity. Do you have in real time? Have you been keeping score, or do you need
I have. Nope. We got it. We got it.
Let's hear it. How'd the show do?
All right, let's see. Let me try to count down from 10 here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we can do this. With 23 points, we have a 3-way tie for 7th, I guess, or for 8th.
Okay.
Iron Brigade, BioShock, and Far Cry 3 all ended up with 23 points. Congratulations to them. We have a 2-way tie for 6th and 7th places would be Fallout New Vegas and Minecraft. We have a 2-way tie for 4th, which was each of our number 1 games. Then that would be Portal and Mass Effect 2.
Okay.
Gears of War 2 would be our number 3 with 27 points. Halo 3 ends up being our number 2 game with 30 points. And our number 1 game is Portal 2 with 42 points.
I'm not mad about that.
I would feel pretty comfortable with that. I feel weird putting out a list that says Halo 2 is our second favorite Xbox 360 game of all time.
Halo 3.
Yeah. Did I say Halo 2?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, it's in second place.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I screwed up on. But yeah, I'd feel a little weird putting out a list that says like the Casual Hours #2 Xbox 360 game of all time, Halo 3. I go like, I like Halo 3, but I don't think it's our number 2.
Yeah. No,
Just that
I
we
think
agreed
Portal
on.
2 is fair.
Yeah, I mean, we could gin up these numbers a little bit and be like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I had Mass Effect, you had Mass Effect 2. We could slap those
Yeah,
together.
we could do
a
one of
similar
those.
thing with
Sure.
it wouldn't change anything, but we could do a similar thing with Skate 2 and Skate 3. It would get a few more points out of that if we combined a couple things here. But honestly, for the most part, I don't think you can get a stronger showing than our number 1 game has 12 more points than our number 2.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be. Like, I'm not mad at that at all. Like, this is my top 5. We've played that game together on this show. I think it's a very representative game of the Casual Hour. I have no issues that one taking the cake.
Yeah. Oh, nicely done. Hey, he did it, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations.
Tip your waiters, everybody.
We don't have the ability to do the things. Oh, we could actually. You know, I'm gonna do it. You left it on. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, he did it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congrats, bro.
We win.
Congratulations.
We win.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's the Casual Hour promise for you, everybody. Portal 2 and some shitty anime. We are the Casual Hour. My name is Bobby. That's Chase. We hang out on the internet a few days a week. You can follow along with all the stuff we do right there. And over here on the screen, you will see our schedule this week. Chase and I went and checked out Monster Train 2. Went into it pretty timid. Came out of that pretty hot. I felt we unlocked quite a bit. We got another clan to check out next time we stream it. Friend of the show, Pierce, who you'll talk about here in a moment. He's been playing a lot of it. Would love to coordinate him hanging out with you and I on a Monday, talking about that game and seeing what insider scoop he has for it.
That'd be rad.
Tonight was the follow-up part 2 Electric Boogaloo of our Xbox 360 coverage. This concludes this deep dive. Had a great time, Chase. Good idea. Thank you for working through it. Thank you for dealing with a tornado and coming back to this.
Yeah, anytime.
And
we should do this for other consoles someday.
I would love that.
We're definitely not going to do it next week or anything, but I think it'd be fun to come back and do this with other consoles and handhelds and see where our lists lie.
That'd be great. And then Friday night, I am thinking about going back to space in Everspace 2, but
not Starfield.
No. I've been playing a lot of Forever Skies. We haven't talked about the games we've been checking out, but I'm having a ton of fun with that one, so I might fire that one up Friday night too. We'll see. I'll let you all know how it goes, but you can follow along with our social at the Casual Hour on Blue Sky, and you'll see our schedules and updates on what's happening there. But what's happening outside of the show, Chase is here. He's got a lot of fun stuff to tell you about.
Yeah, I'm back up and running.
He's back, baby.
With my other 2 shows, Chase Gay Plays. We had Memorial Day weekend. Bobby, had family stuff he was doing. He was a busy boy, and I also had some tornado stuff to clean up. So we took another week off from Stranger Than Split Fiction. We will be back next week with a new episode of that. But in the meantime, I was able to sneak in a little gaming time, and I played a demo of Mark Brown's new video game. Mark Brown is the creator of Game Maker's Toolkit.
Yeah.
And his new game is called Wordplay, which is kind of like if Scrabble and Balatro had a baby.
Oh, shit.
And it's kind of my shit. And I had a really great time playing that demo.
Just a demo right now?
Yeah, just a demo. It's coming out real soon, though. I think it's coming out either next month or July.
Okay.
So it's and he's working on getting an iPad version, which seems like the optimal way to play that game. But
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely check that out. It's got a free demo on Steam right now. Go play it and see what it's like, or watch my video and watch me bash my head against a wall for basically 2 hours, but have a great time doing it. It was a lot of fun. Can't wait to play the full thing.
That's awesome, man.
And then, we mentioned Pierce Gorshane, good friend of our show here. Pierce and I do another podcast. It's called Pilot Program, where Pierce and I watch the first episodes of every television show ever made. We had to take a bit of a break, one because Pierce was really busy with PAX, and then I was really busy with picking up a destroyed home. We got past it, and now we've recorded a new episode of that. I'm in the editing process now, but our new episode on Late Night with Conan O'Brien, fingers crossed, will hopefully come out this weekend. And we've announced that our next episode is going to be on the classic Nickelodeon cartoon show Rocko's Modern Life, baby.
Fuck yeah.
I'm so excited for that one. That one's going to be really fun.
That's awesome.
So excited. So look forward to Conan real soon, and then give it maybe a month for Rocko to come out. But Pilot Program, shows.acast.com/pilot program, or click the link in the chat right now and go check that out. It's great. It's good stuff, and I'm glad Pierce is with me for it.
Hell yeah. Really quick, I want to tease out kind of what's going on the next 2 weeks. There's a lot happening in our industry that we cover. So next week, you and I are both going to be getting Switch 2s. It's also the Summer Game Fest. And the devil couldn't get me, but he let me marry a woman whose birthday always falls on Summer Game Fest time. So Friday night, we're going to be going out for dinner with some friends for her birthday. I don't know if I'll be live next Friday.
Whoa, I wasn't invited. That's a real slap in the face.
Well, I didn't get to play Stranger Than Fiction with you over the weekend, so tit for tat, my boy. Think about your deeds and your actions against me. But we'll try and play. My hope is maybe Friday morning or Friday afternoon before everything starts to go down. I might do a little free roaming in Mario Kart World and show off some of that. But we also are going to be covering the Summer Game Fest the following week. So Monday night, though, what I really want to tell you all about, come back Monday. We're going to check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown, a game I'm really excited to show Chase. We also have our June preview, which is always a hard target to hit with everything that could be stealth released. And there's some rumors circulating that Arc Raiders is going to have a stealth drop at Summer Game Fest, and we'll definitely be playing that on Fridays. But we also have a Next Fest kicking off right after all that. So there's going to be a lot happening with that. And then the Switch 2 coverage, Summer Game Fest recap, June preview, a lot here. So if you don't follow us on any of our socials, the link's there for everywhere we're at. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, etc. And I'm also cooking up a new thing that we're going to be doing back over on YouTube, or at least I'll be doing on YouTube. So there's some stuff coming there that we're going to get going again. Some really cool shit for the casual hour. So if you've tuned in for the first time, thank you. Hang out, like, subscribe, follow, or don't. But we're going to be doing this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Central. Chase, thank you so much for the list.
Very exciting couple of months coming for us.
Big time. And who knows? What a time. Bobby might like the Switch again. Let's see what happens.